I want to imagine that you have looked at the East African community and posed a similar question. You've looked at the Horn of Africa, the center of Africa, and the Maghreb, and asked yourself whether Africa is the richer. I say this because this continent is a continent with potential. This continent is a continent that has within her the wherewithal to be a leading continent in the world, but she is not. This continent continues to be referred to in derogatory terms as the least development. When you look at the critical indices of development in the continent, we are not doing well. Whether it is in agriculture, as I've already mentioned, we are not doing well. Whether it is in health, we are not doing well. You only have to look at the indices on maternal mortality, child or infant mortality. You only have to look at the crude death rates. You only have to look at the unemployment situation in the continent. You only have to look at our continued dependence on manufactured goods from China and Turkey. And you only have to look at how we continue to export primary products which we do not control to appreciate that we are not in a good space. And there is the tendency, therefore, to pose the question or even to explain away our problems by saying we are victims of a conspiracy of an international kind. That is an easy escape route. And our politicians take that route more often than not. They are able to tell you, we are where we are because we were colonized, they will tell you. They are able to tell you, we are where we are because there is a neo-colonial project which is alive and well. They are able to tell you, we are where we are because of the evil alliance of the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and the World Trade Organization. They tell us that. And you and me, who are victims of their explanations, nod in approval. But are they right when they tell us that that is the source of our problems? Because when we choose to take the position that we are victims of conspiracy, then we do not look at our internal circumstances. Then we do not interrogate our politicians. And I'm suggesting to this audience that there may well be a conspiracy. But that is not the reason why we are where we are. There is a sense in which we too have contributed. The politicians have contributed, and we who follow them, who are the voters, have also contributed. In a manner of speaking, we are co-authors of our own misfortune. And when we are blaming them, we should also blame ourselves. But it's also true to say that the current state and status of the continent of Africa is as a result of an architecture in which we did not participate. Rwanda, as we know it today, is a product of a colonial architecture. Nigeria, including the name Nigeria, is a product of Lord Lugard and the girlfriend. Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, all these countries arbitrarily parceled out in 1884 to 1885 in Berlin. And when they sat in Berlin during that period, not a single African country was represented. Some say Ethiopia was. But what kind of representation? It wasn't, in fact. And why were they dividing Africa into spheres of influence? Because Africa was a hunting ground. So in Ghana,